I sit with many who ask the question. We've lost someone highly valued, but where are they now? I notice that many parents and teachers have little children ask that question. Where is uncle? Where is grandfather, grandmother? And of course, the parents and the teachers, having not brought themselves into line with any contemporary theological or philosophical thought, revert back to something which is really quite mythological, I suppose, if not ridiculous. They say, Grandpa's up in heaven. Well, of course, it asks the next question, doesn't it? Where is heaven? And if he's up there, why doesn't he come home for lunch? And so on. So we need to find a way to answer that question. In the adult world, I answer the question by saying the person who has gone has become spiritualized in the life and memory of the living. Being thus spiritualized, they have become part of the story of our life. They have become part of the enrichment of our life. They have become part of the memory of our life. They have become part of the eternal strengthening of our life. So that needs to be then converted into a language that most of us, from adults to children, can understand. Thirdly, in our loneliness and loss and in the empty spaces of life, we're often persuaded in our mind that life has delivered us an unnecessary sadness. We forget that the conditions of life are really that we live and we die. We, all of us, do just that. And although when the time comes, it seems to be tragic, it seems to be a crisis or a tragedy, that is the normal course. These are the conditions of life. We're born, we live, hopefully we live the best life we can, and then we die. In my novel, I felt the eagle's heart. I dwelt throughout the whole book, in fact, on this anguish. The anguish of how people, young people, would cope with the various events, the catastrophes and the crises of their life. If some of you have not yet read the book, you might like to purchase it because it is available at the bookstore for very, very low price these days. But there it is. And again, I go back and read the words that I put there on page 5, in fact, the words of Dostoevsky. Paradise blooms around us here on earth, and we fail to see it because we do not wish to do so. St. John's Gospel carries the same theme when it uses imagery to demonstrate the excessive care of God. The excessive care that is part of life, at the very heart of life. There it is. If only we could feel it. If only we could take hold of it. If only we would embrace it. We're all too quickly, too easily persuaded that care is not there anymore. And we have become alienated from it. But it continues to invite us to be open to the experience of being a participant in it. Our losses and emptiness seem to hunger, however, for something more. It doesn't seem to be enough. And so those losses and emptiness challenge us to find something more. The poem of W.H. Auden, The Funeral Blues, expressed an enriched emotion that seems to transcend the pain that the person was feeling and transform the anguish into that imagery. The stars are not wanted now. Put out everyone. Pack up the moon, dismantle the sun. Pour away the ocean, sweep up the wood, for nothing now can ever come to any good. Or the song of Robbie Burns in that rich imagery, gin a body, meet a body, coming through the rye. It's the image of reaching out to life in spite of all that's happened before. Or we glimpse it in the symbolism of Jesus opening the way for a new faith to be born. And John Newton, in his hymn, I think, took hold of it in that kind of physical imagery. How sweet the name of Jesus sounds in a believer's ear. It soothes his sorrows, heals his wounds,